I don't like politics at all, but it's even less. I like it less when you see somebody like Donald Trump winning, and to have like Super Tuesdays where a whole bunch of states, you know, vote for this man who, well, I have to face it. I think Cruz is even more evil than Trump, but we have postings of people trying to say certain things, but we do not understand. Like this image right here says, you know, says it all really, because it says, "I wish my people would vote with the same level of interest that they post on Facebook." It's like a really true thought that an icon like Martin Luther King would probably have in this day and age. We post a lot of things to try to get people to understand how important voting is, voting rights. You know, we see these images and we see that, there are not too many people that go out and vote, and they don't believe that their vote counts. And we have to pay attention to the fact that our rights are being taken away slowly. Like an old old grandmother who's in her 60s, who may not drive and may not have an ID, but there's laws being passed for voter IDs. So I wanted to take that image and remix it and share one of those songs from 12 Years a Slave. I like the fact that that scene went into "I am the God of Abraham," and it's just a religious aspect of being passed down your religion, to the slaves, and the doctrines of how we behave as slaves and how we should behave. It's difficult to watch this process happen. You go to CNN and you see a process that is happening to a country, and you realize this is somebody who wants to shut down people's beliefs, mosques, and build walls. And you look at this political process, and you get saddened by it. We need to vote. We can't just sit out here and not vote, and not take part in what is rightfully your right as a citizen in the United States, even if there are laws being passed for voter IDs and things like that. You need to vote. So, as a remix for Mr. Nobody, I'm doing something a little controversial, but I feel it's necessary as an expression to express myself in this manner and my feelings about race, about the issues, about how we being treated as black folks. Because the battle, we can point at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and we can point at the lack of interest that we post on Black Twitter, or we post on Facebook all the time, but we don't vote, and we stay at home and we don't exercise that right. So I'm using the historical word negroes, and I'm using the N word, as you saw in that video, for 12 years a slave. That scene in the movie, it's a powerful scene, and the song always sticks with me. And I just want people to pay attention to these things. I'm gonna use the historical words. It's just what I feel is necessary for me to do. I may get backlashes, or whatever for using certain words, or for doing certain things, but you have to express how you feel, even if it's 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, lack of sleep. So, this is the remix of the song, and the image that I saw up there. We need to know our history. We need to remember that just because we had a black president doesn't mean the struggle is over. We cannot allow someone who sounds so much like a fascist, who sounds so much like a new Hitler, to take office. It's not possible to allow evil to to win all the time. It's sad. It is sad that nobody really cares about certain things. Same old song. We have to do certain things about what happens, and you have to be brave enough to take a stand. and to exercise your rights, even when there are laws being passed, and that your voter ID, you have to show a voter ID, and you have to go through hoops just to exercise your rights as a citizen. Pay attention to these things. We are losing our rights slowly. Pay attention to these things. This has been Mr. Nobody Cares 1910 on Twitter, posting a remix to a sad old song that we are still slaves if we stop exercising our rights and voting and making sure that justice happens in our communities. We have to remember the history and those people who fight for those rights. We have to remember that. We can't just be on Twitter, and we cannot be on just be on Facebook. We have to remember to vote. Please, people, get your IDs if you have to. Follow the law. Go out there and vote. Exercise your rights as U.S. citizens. Don't allow this to happen. Don't allow us to take so many steps so backwards. Vote.